Have you ever wondered what makes it possible for you to think? Not your brain as a whole, not your memories, not even your consciousness. What if the secret behind every thought, every emotion, every dream, and every memory could be traced back to a single microscopic cell? A cell so small that thousands could fit on the tip of a pin. Yet without it, you would never recognize a face, never learn a language, never feel fear, never fall in love, never imagine the future. Everything begins with one extraordinary cell, the neuron, the most mysterious cell in the human body. Right now, as you listen to these words, billions of neurons are communicating inside your brain. Messages are racing through vast biological networks at incredible speeds. Memories are being retrieved, sensations are being interpreted, decisions are being made, and all of it depends on these remarkable cells. But what exactly is a neuron? How does it work? And how can a collection of tiny cells create something as complex as the human mind? Let's find out. At first glance, a neuron does not look like an ordinary cell. Most cells in the body are relatively simple. They perform specific tasks and then are replaced when necessary. Neurons are different. They are highly specialized. Some can survive for an entire lifetime. Many of the neurons in your brain today have been with you since before you were born. Each neuron has a unique structure designed for one purpose: communication. A typical neuron consists of three main parts: the cell body, the dendrites, and the axon. The cell body contains the nucleus and keeps the neuron alive. The dendrites act like receiving antennas. They collect information arriving from other neurons. The axon acts like a biological transmission cable. It carries electrical signals away from the cell body toward other cells. Some axons can be incredibly long. In fact, certain neurons extend from the spinal cord all the way to the feet. For a single cell, that is an astonishing distance. Many axons are also wrapped in a fatty insulating layer called myelin. This coating helps electrical signals travel much faster and more efficiently. Even the smallest details of a neuron's structure have been shaped by evolution to maximize communication. But the true wonder of neurons is not their shape. It is their ability to communicate. Your brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons. Each one can connect with thousands of others. Together, they form one of the most complex networks known to exist. Scientists estimate that the number of connections inside the human brain may exceed the number of stars in our galaxy. A single thought may involve activity across millions of neurons. A memory may depend on countless connections distributed throughout the brain. Yet communication happens so quickly that you experience it as a seamless reality. And how is that possible? The answer lies in electricity. Neurons are living electrical cells. Their membranes maintain tiny differences in electrical charge. When stimulated strongly enough, a neuron generates a rapid electrical impulse known as an action potential. This impulse travels along the axon like a wave. Unlike electricity flowing through a wire, the process depends on the movement of charged particles called ions. Special channels open and close in precise sequences. The electrical signal moves forward. Information is transmitted. The message continues its journey. Some signals travel at over 100 meters per second, fast enough to allow immediate reactions to the world around us. Touch a hot surface. A signal travels through neurons. The brain processes the information. A response is sent back. And all of this can happen in a fraction of a second, yet electrical signals alone are only part of the story. Eventually, the signal reaches the end of the axon. There, it encounters a tiny gap, a gap so small it can only be seen with powerful microscopes. This gap is called a synapse. The synapse is one of the most important structures in biology. When the electrical signal reaches the end of the neuron, it triggers the release of chemical messengers known as neurotransmitters. These molecules cross the tiny gap and bind to receptors on the next neuron. The message continues. Electrical becomes chemical. Chemical becomes electrical again. This process repeats trillions of times every day. Without it, the brain would fall silent. different neurotransmitters perform different functions. Some increase activity, others reduce it. Some influence attention, others affect learning, motivation, sleep, mood, or movement. Dopamine is associated with reward and motivation. Serotonin helps regulate mood. Acetylcholine plays a major role in learning and memory. The balance between these chemical signals helps shape our experience of reality. Every sight you see, every sound you hear, every emotion you feel, every memory you recall, all depend upon patterns of communication between neurons. Neurons are also constantly receiving information. At any given moment, a single neuron may receive thousands of incoming signals from other cells. Some encourage it to fire, others inhibit its activity. The neuron effectively evaluates all of this information before deciding whether to generate a new signal. This process occurs billions of times every second throughout the nervous system. But neurons do far more than transmit information. They can also change. This ability is known as neuroplasticity. For much of history, scientists believed the brain was largely fixed after childhood. Today we know that is not true. Neural connections can strengthen. They can weaken, new pathways can form. Existing pathways can reorganize. Every time you learn something new, your neural network changes slightly. Every skill you practice leaves a physical trace within the brain. Every memory modifies the structure of countless connections. In a very real sense, experience reshapes the architecture of the mind. This adaptability is one of the reasons humans can learn throughout life. It is why recovery after certain brain injuries is sometimes possible. And it is one of the most remarkable properties of the nervous system. Neurons also play a central role in memory. Although scientists are still uncovering the details, memories appear to emerge from patterns of strengthened connections distributed across vast neural networks. A memory is not stored in a single neuron. It is stored in relationships between many neurons. Every important experience leaves traces within these networks. The face of a loved one, a childhood home, a favorite song, a life-changing moment. All are encoded within changing patterns of neural connectivity, yet many mysteries remain. Scientists still do not fully understand how billions of neurons working together produce consciousness. How does electrical activity become subjective experience? How does the firing of neurons create the sensation of color, the feeling of love, the awareness of being alive? How can matter become mind? Despite decades of research, these questions remain among the greatest mysteries in science. The neuron has revealed many secrets, but not all of them. In many ways, it stands at the boundary between biology and consciousness, between matter and thought, between the physical world and the inner universe that each of us experiences. At this very moment, billions of neurons are active inside your brain. They are helping you understand these words, creating images in your imagination, connecting new ideas to old memories, allowing you to reflect on your own existence. Tiny cells, microscopic structures. Yet together they generate everything you have ever known. Your memories, your personality, your emotions, your dreams, your fears, your hopes, your imagination, your sense of self. The neuron is not just another cell in the body, it is the foundation of thought itself, one of the greatest wonders in nature, and perhaps the closest thing we have ever found to the biological origin of the human mind.